Baller. Take one. Action. That's a wrap.
What's up, my babies? Welcome back to another video. My name is Kay and this is KROWNEDBALLER. We're gonna hop right into this video. I am starting off on slightly blow dried hair. I did have a protective style in this already, so that's why you see the little crinkles and curls in the child. But we are starting off on blow dry hair. I feel like it's easier to manage as y'all see me struggling. Jesus, take the wheel. So I'm going to be using some Shine and Gem Extra Hold, and you can use any edge control you like, whatever is your favorite, but this is what I have over here in Europe, and this is what we're gonna use. I'm using this product a lot in this video because I want my parts to be extra secure and crispy. Okay, so that is the key that I've seen from these braiders. Now let me give y'all a super disclaimer. Okay, your girl is not a hair braider, okay, but I be trying sometimes, and sometimes I succeed and sometimes I don't, and that's okay. Praise God. So I just wanted to do this little old school throwback design and hairstyle for you guys. So I started off by parting my hair in the middle and then making those two very small braids that you normally would see in between feed-in braids, like the little small braids in between. I wanted to just start off this pattern with those in the middle. Now y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I didn't know what design I was going for. And as I've been looking at some, design braid videos and tutorials, like they say you should probably already have an idea of what you want to do before you start. And girl, I didn't. Okay, I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. So I was just literally winging it. So once I kind of figured out which braiding pattern I wanted to do for each section, I went ahead and pulled out some of my baby hairs, used that Shine and Gem gel and applied it to my braid. I went on like the top by the part and then the bottom by my ear. I do that for each of the braids and just to give it like the super sleek look. So this braid I am going in with a kind of like a crisscross motion. So I'm gonna like braid this first braid down until like probably like the end of my ear, and then I'm gonna stop and braid the very top braid into the same place. And then once I finish braiding them too, I part off the rest of the hair in the back and I continue to braid, but I crossed each braid over. So literally it's like an X braid. Like obviously you guys are gonna watch and see what I'm doing, but I just wanted to like say what was in my mind and my thoughts. So a couple of things that I just wanted to let you guys know, and it's like things that work for me. You definitely want to have some clips to separate your hair and hold the excess hair off. When I use the jam, that actually helps because I part the hair and then I put the jam on both sides of the part, and that helps like the hair that I'm not touching that's being braided at all, like that helps it kind of stay in its own place. Okay. Also, if you are using braiding hair, which again, disclaimer, I am not a hair braider and I really don't know what I be doing. Like I just be trying stuff. Okay, I've only done feed-in braids like one other time, and like who knows why I decided to do this style this time with braiding hair. But anywho, trial and error is my middle name, and I'm gonna persevere through every obstacle that I have. Do you hear me? So anywho, like I was saying, if you're using braiding hair for this tutorial or this hairstyle, make sure you like pre-separate your hair. That's definitely going to make the process easier and a lot more smooth throughout this braiding process. Like you don't want to keep stopping and having to separate hair, and getting pre-stretched hair is definitely a win. Please trust me. I'm over in Europe, so I don't really have that option to get pre-stretched hair unless I order it, and sometimes some places ain't ordering here. I'm in Portugal and I ain't found a hair store yet. Jesus, take the wheel. So that's just my little tip, my first few tips to make this hairstyle a lot easier. Y'all see me making these faces, and it's because I'm honestly like slight weight tender headed. My hair is just kind of tender these days, so I'm trying to put it in protective styles so that I don't have to touch it, which actually ironically makes it even more tender. But anywho, so I don't really know exactly how many pieces of hair that I used in each braid. I want each braid to be like the same length and the same thickness, but I'm not very sure how many pieces I used. I just do know that like the pieces of hair that I did use were like smaller than like a number 2 pencil. So keep that in mind. If you want bigger braids, obviously you would use more hair and add more pieces. But for me, I didn't really want big braids. Besides, like my hair is also very thin. So me having huge braids would not look as natural. Like I want these feet in braids to look like they coming from my scalp. I don't want to look like I'm adding a bunch of different hair. So just keep that in mind. So obviously if your hair is thicker than mine, or you have a lot more hair in your head, you know to use more hair or less hair, either one. And also depending on the length that you want. So for this second braid, I went ahead, something told me, I don't know what, but I went ahead and wanted to do this like snake type of zigzag braid. And so what I'm doing, I separated my hair, the parts, I separated them first, and then I kind of like clipped them away. So as I started to braid, I added the shine and gem to the part so that that hair would definitely still be crispy, and then I unclipped those pieces of hair as I went. So you guys kind of see me like keeping that hair separate, like, and for me it was a lot easier to kind of over exaggerate my braid. So if I was on the curve, I over exaggerated that I was going down, and then I over exaggerated that I was coming back left, and then I over exaggerated that I was going down, and over exaggerated that I was coming back right. So I hope that makes sense for you guys, but for me that's what worked. When I kind of just like over braided this section, I felt like that was good for me. And then after a while I stopped doing the curves, child. And then I just continued to go down in a straight line. If you want to make your curves go down lower, please be my guest. This is your head, this is your pattern. Or if you're doing it on a client or, you know, a friend of yours or whatever the case may be, you know, it's all about what you want or what they want in their head. Now y'all can see like my parts are not as crispy as I would have liked them to be in the little snake pattern, and that's just because I really couldn't see at the top of my head. But doing the style on someone else is going to be a lot easier for you to see. But if you're doing it on yourself, just make sure that you like constantly are like pushing and pulling that hair that's by the part away from the part, if that makes sense. So yeah, and I'm just going to continue to add that gel and add braiding hair where I need to be, and yeah, keep braiding down. I did struggle with adding hair probably like at the back where you guys see me just add hair. That was probably like my struggle part of as far as like blending. When I turn around and you guys see the back of my head, you'll see like some of those pieces where I added hair down the bottom of my braid. You can like see where I added them in. So like right here you could see, not as much, but like you could see you could see where I added that piece of hair at. So again, just be mindful, this is about trial and error. So I am a slight weight perfectionist. Like after a while I'm just gonna give up, child. Like if it was somebody else's head, it would be okay, but like on my head, I'm okay with it. Like I could walk around looking a little bit dusty. Like nobody's gonna know but you and me, you know what I mean? So for this third braid, I kind of wanted to do like the old school Iverson type of a braid. So I'm making small parts downwards in a downward shape, and then I think I choose like 3 or 4, which I actually could have made an extra braid, and you guys will see why a little bit later on. But I'm just parting downward and kind of like braiding down my head, and then I'm going to connect all of those braids with the one braid. So I'm grabbing the hair underneath. I didn't braid all the way down because I still wanted to have some hair to kind of grasp and then be able to add my braiding hair in. Again, this was kind of a struggle to add my braiding hair in. I don't know why, but I just struggle with adding my feed-in hair. So if you're a person like me who doesn't really know how to braid with feed-in hair, like, or feeding in hair, especially without looking like you're feeding hair in, I guess this would be the perfect video for you. But I'm still practicing and I'm getting better and better. I'm not gonna lie. I just did my teammate's hair, and maybe I'll insert a picture or two, but her hair came out beautiful. And I don't know if it's because I could see what I was doing, or if because I just wanted to perfect it on another person, but her hair was fire. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm just connecting all of those braids as I go down, and I'm adding feed-in hair as I go down. And you guys will see, like, toward the end braid, like, there's like a patch of hair that I could have put in another braid, because it just kind of looked like it's out of place. Like, it was just sitting on the side. Like, that's not cute. So I definitely could have added another braid here, or made the braids smaller, and it would have been cool. But I think that this little pitchfork idea, like, it literally just came out of nowhere. Like, I had no idea what to do, but it came out pretty nice though, I'm not gonna lie. And y'all, this is my very first time like doing feed-in braids, like design feed-in braids on myself. Like, I've never done this style before. I've never tried. So you guys see that little section next to the last braid where it's like just a patch of hair? I definitely could have added another braid right there. But again, we just gonna work with it. So right here, y'all, this was probably like the biggest struggle of the night. Was trying to figure out what to do with this last section. I had no idea what to do with this last section. I ended up kind of going into like a rubber band style, you know, like the crisscross rubber band. That's what I was going for with this. I don't know if I necessarily succeeded, but that's what I was going for. So I kind of just like parted the hair off in a mosaic style, and literally I just had any type of parts going in different triangles, and then I braided those little sections. And as I kept going back toward the back of the section of hair, I just added the front sections to the next triangles. Yeah, so I literally just applied that Shine and Jam. Literally, it's so heavy. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, my whole head is the container at this point. But you guys see me, like, I parted off the next triangle. I began to braid, and then I added that next piece into the braid. So honestly, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, this is the definition of didn't know like what I was doing, making it up as I go, child. This is literally the definition of that. Like so yeah, I just I like the way that it turned out. I wish that I would have braided and braided each section and connected it with rubber bands, because that way I know for sure that it would have like separated like how I needed to. Like, this is where I wanted the braids to be, but once I finished, they kind of like they were closer to each other than what I would have liked them to be. So again, this is just that trial and error that I was talking about. So I'm happy that it came out the way that it did, but I would definitely switch up a few things on the next time. So once I get all the triangles and braids that I would like, I go in and start adding my braiding hair and just continue to braid like normal down the back of the rest of the section. So that was pretty much it, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, that section had me really stressed. Like, I was definitely stressed with this section. Like, I still am stressed every time I look at it, but that is all. So I'm just showing you guys, like, I didn't really want the braids down, and I have been seeing like the knotted little buns that the hairstylists have been doing with the braids, so I wanted to try that. I probably could have used a smaller like rubber band or a ponytail holder, but that's just the one that I had, child. So that's how it is, and this is what my hair is looking like from the back. Now, to kind of finish off this look, or to set it in, I should say, I'm just using my foam. Whatever like setting foam you have is whatever's gonna be best for you. This is all that I had, so I went ahead and just generously applied it to the top of my braids, and I put on my head rag and use my blow dryer. But this is the finished little look. I hope that you guys like this video. I definitely went in and did some baby hairs and oiled my scalp, of course, but make sure if you guys like this video, you give it a big thumbs up, comment down below any comments, questions, or concerns, and smash that subscribe button. I love you, babes. Can't wait to see you in the next one. Mwah.